Captain, to build a better world sometimes means tearing the old one down. And that makes enemies.
It looks like Captain America 5 might actually be happening, and there's a good chance we could see a new Captain America step into the spotlight. Kevin Feige recently dropped some hints that the MCU might recast both Iron Man and Captain America in the future, and that has fans speculating about what a fifth Cap movie could look like. During a press roundtable at Marvel's Burbank headquarters for Fantastic Four, Feige talked about how long-running film franchises evolve, referencing big shifts in other universes, like James Bond and Superman. He noted that Amy Pascal and David Heyman are looking for a new Bond, and David Cornswet was a great new Superman, which sets a precedent that recasting major roles isn't unheard of. Feige also acknowledged that replacing actors who have defined iconic characters is no easy feat. He compared it to how hard it would be to replace Sean Connery as Bond. He was open about the idea that Iron Man, originally played by Robert Downey Jr., and Captain America, played by Chris Evans, could be recast someday. Though he was a bit vague about Deadpool and Wolverine returning, his comments suggest that Marvel is definitely thinking ahead about the future of its legacy characters. The hints make it feel like Marvel is preparing audiences for a new era, one where fresh faces might take on these legacy roles to sustain the MCU's long-term storytelling. Anthony Mackie, who took up the mantle of Captain America in Brave New World, has said that the film is just the beginning of a new story, similar to how Captain America: The First Avenger set the foundation for Steve Rogers' journey. Mackie sees the movie as a building block to the next crescendo, meaning it's laying the groundwork for bigger events in the MCU. Now that's exciting because it implies there's still a lot of room for Captain America 5 to expand on Sam Wilson's story, even though it's arriving late in the multiverse saga. The Infinity Saga had a decade-long build-up that led seamlessly to Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame, but the Multiverse Saga has struggled a bit with narrative cohesion. Even so, Mackie's comments suggest that Brave New World could finally start connecting threads more consistently. It's worth noting that Marvel has had to pivot a lot in the recent era. The Multiverse Saga introduced new characters and storylines that didn't always connect or resolve fully in each film or series. For instance, Kang the Conqueror was originally set up as the next Thanos-level villain after his introduction in Loki and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. However, the poor reception to Quantumania, combined with issues surrounding actor Jonathan Majors, forced Marvel to pivot. Instead of continuing Kang's storyline, the studio switched focus to Doctor Doom, and Robert Downey Jr.'s return in that role at San Diego Comic-Con thrilled fans. This kind of late-stage reshuffling shows how flexible the MCU has to be, which could also shape the future of Captain America and the possibility of a fifth film. Now, even though nothing is officially confirmed about Captain America 5, Brave New World sets up a lot of potential storylines that could naturally lead into a sequel. Sam Wilson is firmly established as the new Cap, and the movie has him stepping into his role while handling an international conflict. Along the way, he's joined by familiar MCU faces like Thaddeus Ross and Samuel Stearns, as well as newer allies like Joaquin Torres, Ruth Bat Seraph, and Sidewinder. The post-credit scene hints at a bigger multiversal threat coming Sam's way, which could tie into Avengers: Doomsday and Secret Wars, but it also leaves room for a standalone Cap adventure that explores Sam's leadership and new responsibilities. The setup for Captain America 5 could also borrow a lot from the comics. One direction could be the Captain America Reborn storyline, where Cap comes back after being out of action, which would work well for a movie exploring Sam's rise to fully embrace the shield. Another potential adaptation could draw from Sam Wilson Captain America comics, which dive into Sam taking over the mantle while facing both new threats and the legacy of Steve Rogers. The comics often explore themes like racial identity, social responsibility, and leadership, all of which could make for a compelling Cap 5 storyline. There's also the possibility of pulling inspiration from Captain America: Fear itself, which has Cap and the Avengers dealing with global threats and mystical artifacts, adding stakes without necessarily relying on intergalactic conflicts. Speaking of mystical artifacts, Brave New World introduced adamantium into the MCU, which is huge for a potential Captain America 5. Adamantium is closely tied to the X-Men universe, most famously bonded to Wolverine's skeleton. By introducing it now, Marvel could be laying the groundwork for more mutant-related storylines, connecting Cap to the larger MCU and future X-Men films. Characters like Deadpool, Lady Deathstrike, X-23, and Sabretooth are all affected by adamantium in the comics, meaning a Cap 5 could intersect with mutants in interesting ways. If Marvel is aiming to launch a mutant saga after Secret Wars, Captain America 5 could be the perfect film to bridge the current MCU with this new chapter. Returning characters are another huge factor. Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, Sam's trusted sidekick, is likely to reprise his role, and the same goes for Shira Haas's Ruth and Zosha Rockmore's Lila Taylor, who've proven themselves as strong allies. Carl Lumbly's Isaiah Bradley, who's a mentor and friend to Sam, could also play a significant role in a sequel. And because no major characters died in Brave New World, anyone from that cast could return, including Thaddeus Ross, whose Red Hulk storyline may continue, and Giancarlo Esposito's Sidewinder, who could become an ongoing antagonist connected to the Serpent Society. The story possibilities for Captain America 5 are extensive. Sam's journey of self-discovery is central. He has to prove he's worthy of the shield and step fully into the role of a leader for the new Avengers. Unlike Steve Rogers, Sam has the added complexity of navigating a world that's changed drastically since Endgame, and the sequel could explore how he balances personal doubts, leadership responsibilities, and global threats. The MCU has often grounded Captain America movies more than other franchise entries, so a Cap 5 wouldn't necessarily need a cosmic-level event to work. It could focus on political intrigue, espionage, and moral dilemmas, while building toward larger multiversal storylines. Kevin Feige's hints at recasting also open up interesting possibilities for Captain America 5. While Anthony Mackie is firmly established in the role now, the precedent of recasting legacy characters in other franchises shows that the MCU could theoretically introduce a younger Cap at some point, either in a prequel or a fresh storyline that coexists with Sam. This could create opportunities to explore different aspects of Captain America, including alternate realities, timelines, or younger heroes stepping up in the spirit of Rogers' ideals. The comics have plenty of examples to pull from, like Young Avengers or The Avengers: The Children's Crusade arcs, where younger heroes take up the mantle to face new challenges. Finally, the timing feels right for Marvel to solidify Captain America's role moving forward. With Avengers: Secret Wars approaching in 2027, a Captain America 5 could cement Sam Wilson as the definitive Cap for the next era, introducing fresh allies, and lay the foundation for future solo adventures. Whether they adapt comic storylines directly or weave in new narratives, there's a bunch of potential for the MCU to create a film that honors Steve Rogers' legacy while fully embracing Sam Wilson's journey. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.